Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our Tuesday edition of our leadership call. Today is Tuesday, September 16th. We just came back from an amazing boot camp. I think this was one for the books, the most impactful for me, for so many other people, whether you were a newcomer, whether you were someone that just started reattending again, or whether you were a veteran and just has always been at the boot camps. This was not one to miss. Um, so many great nuggets we had. My little recap, but something that I had as soon as we got back, I started to just I feel like I've like been reborn in my network marketing career. And um I took my husband out to lunch, had my button on, and I started not to wear it in the restaurant, but I wore it. The waitress was like, oh, that you have on a perfume. It smells really nice. And I'm like, no, not no perfume on. And I thought about it. She said, well, it smells really nice. And I said, well, only thing I have on is this. And I, pulled it out my bag. It was the Still essential oil, because I was using it behind my ear because I was having issues with vertigo. And she said, that's it. And then we got to talking, and she turns out to be someone who appreciates good essential oils. So we exchanged information, and I will be following up with her. But she asked me, she said, what's that about? She pointed to my button and asked, what's that about? So you guys wear your buttons. Uh, this is your business, and make it work. And this is my business, and I'm making it work. So that being said, I'd like to introduce you all to our amazing teacher tonight, Coach Will Zanders. He is a multiple seven-figure earner in the network marketing world, seven-figure earner at our green organics company at HBN, and our first six-figure earner, soon to be seven, at Go to Sana. An amazing teacher, always knows how to get your business to where it needs to be. So, Coach Will Zanders, are you available, sir?
All right, Miriam, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I love the updates 100%. And I'm glad that that worked out. And we'll definitely talk more um, about event recaps and stuff as well. But what I want to do um, before that is to two things. Number one, got a lot of updates tonight too. I want to thank everyone who attended. It was an absolute blast. And when I hopped on, look, thank you, Coach. I appreciate that. Got to matching Coach Mark. Yeah, I had to switch it up today, man. Move the office to the library, move it around a little bit, specifically for that. So I love it. I wanted a little change of pace too, kind of like Miriam. When I got back from Nashville, and I stayed a little bit longer than most people did, I think. When I got back um, earlier, I wanted to just do some stuff different. I felt just refreshed, just batteries charged up, ready to go. No ifs, ands, buts about it, ready to run clean into Vegas. But that being said, I want to thank everybody who did come. Uh, I've been doing this for a while. I know a lot of us have, and it never ever ceases to amaze me how you have a group of people, love them to death, who attend online, or some don't attend at all, and then you have people who, quite frankly, could make it, but just don't. You got to prioritize the things that are important to you. No worries there. Everybody's in business for themselves, but not by themselves. And then you have people like Maxine Hunter, who comes from Canada. Maxine had never been on a plane before, is what I was told. Never been on an airplane before in her life. Never been out of the country ever, and comes and spends all that time, money, energy, effort, passports. It's literally a foreign country, and to come here to be poured into, and to take her business and skill sets back to Canada to bring her country to the next level. Um, you have people like Tiara Moore, and although we won't mention this publicly, because I don't think this is being live streamed anywhere, and you shouldn't post this anywhere. But my point is this: the things that people overcome, and there it is. And Coach Tina's just chimed in right there. And she lives on disability. You cannot be more challenged than you can't possibly have more excuses than Maxine would have had. You can't. I don't care who you are. You couldn't have possibly had more excuses that were valid excuse. Like nobody could have been mad. Maxine, we get it. We'll catch on the next one. Don't worry. Maxine said no. No, this is my business and I'm making it work. No, Coach Tina told me this is important. She'll be there. I'll be there, period. And that was it. That wasn't no offense or buts about it. And I'm not going to say this young lady's name out of Atlanta. I'm glad Tom reminded us not to mention that on live. But a particular young lady was not even a week out of an emergency surgical procedure. I can't. Okay. Oh, thank you, T. All right. Well, Tiara Moore. Tiara, we didn't think Tiara was coming. Tiara literally was less than a week out of an emergency surgery she had to have. We won't go into the details, but the bottom line is she didn't just force herself to recover faster. She didn't just pray her way through it, use the products, rest up as much as she could. She was still fresh out of surgery, ladies and gentlemen. And then she drove. She drove hours, 5 hours to go to the event. So for people who didn't make it, man, listen, we love you, but it ain't looking good for y'all. And the reason I say that is because inconvenience reveals the depth of your commitment. And it's not a commitment to any of us. It's a commitment to you, whoever you are, and the things that you said you wanted when you first got involved in this business. And what I typically find, because I've seen this among so many of my peers, is that people like Coach Charlotte. Coach Charlotte has had death in the family and still made it to the event, tears in her eyes. Coach Charlotte's husband Chris had a major surgery, and she still made it. So it's not to say that y'all listen. I'll just say this: finishing out the year 2025 and going into 2026, and watching all of these new amazing people come up and make that low. Twyla, cannot forget that. Cannot forget Twyla Guy Wilson. I won't give the details of that, but people had major heartbreaking challenges and didn't make not one excuse, not one. So I just want to commend everyone who did whatever it took to get there. I hope that you were as impacted as we were by being there. And it's going to be okay. Tyler says this. She had a sudden. Tyler was your cousin, a very young lady who I think is Twyla's cousin, passed away suddenly, unexpectedly, no warning, no nothing. And and Twyla wasn't going to make it to the event. They were very, very close. His cousin were, and Twyla's family told her, you need to go. We want you to succeed. We love you. It's what she would have wanted. I'm pretty sure that's the story I got from Twyla when I talked to her. And she said, you need to be around people that love you. She passed away Friday. That's what it was. So on Friday, while she was there, her cousin passed away suddenly, and Twyla was about to go back, just roll right out. And the family was like, no, you're there. This is what's best. We'll be here when you get home. You leaving is not going to bring her back. And again, tears in her eyes. It was one of the most emotionally impactful events in the event and out of the event that I have ever experienced in my over a decade of doing network marketing. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I got a lot of updates for you guys and girls. But that being said, it was a real event for real G's. I really can't put it no other way. And we had some brand new people that we got a chance to meet. Were amazing, but we'll talk about them as well. But that being said, let me just hurry up real quick and turn over the microphone to Coach Seymour Greenridge Blake. I know Coach has really taken the challenge that we issued to him to provide value in training and coaching and leadership on these calls, and it's been absolutely amazing. So, Coach, if you are ready, and he was also presented with this six-figure check as well as his six-figure ring at this last event. So if you missed that, it was really great to see so many 5- and 6-figure earners awarded at this particular event. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But Coach Seymour, are you available, my friend? Are you ready to rock and roll? And I'll just get it back when you're done. No work, no rush. Yep, I know he's on. He might be having a little bit of technical difficulties. Let me see. All right, well, while we're waiting on Coach Seymour to maybe get his mic situated or get unmuted, what we'll do is just give you some of the updates. So we will have a new coffee coming out on the HBN side about the middle of October. There's one I'm hearing so far, was going to be a little bit sooner. But a second announcement that we'll put out is that the Green Organics family and corporate staff and everybody just passed the first surprise FDA inspection that they've ever had. 99.99% of network marketing companies, their facilities and whatnot are not certified by the FDA. The products aren't certified by the FDA because they don't need to be. They're not a drug and it's not a food, it's supplements. so they don't fall under the purview of the FDA. But although we don't post this, we don't put it all over the site and things of that nature, but we tell you to understand the type of company that we have. But they really are low key. Yeah, Coach Tina just said a lot of other companies have white labeled garbage. They do not even manufacture their own products. But here at the Green Organics family of companies, go to sign an HBN. What we have is our products are made in-house. Even if the ingredients have to come from another country, they come, but everything's made in-house. Any ingredients that we don't have here, that we grow on farms that we own because they come from out of the country, because certain stuff only grows in certain countries. Paula did make sure that they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for the machinery, the facilities, and things of that nature to become FDA certified facility. And part of that is the FDA can pop up at any time and do a surprise inspection. So although it was very stressful because the company had never been through one before, from what I've been told in the leadership reports, they passed with flying colors. Coach Tina's right, it's huge. It's huge because you have a lot of companies out there that say, oh, we got magnesium too, or we have ashwagandha too, or we got, yeah, everybody can have it, but is it what it really is? Is it of the quality that you really say it is? Says who? The company owner says that? Okay, the company website says that? That's not a third party. That's irrelevant. So when we talk about third party, the FDA is simply going to be the hardest on the network marketing industry because they don't even like us. So they are extremely difficult, extremely strict measures of purity and quality and everything across the board. Not one shoelace better be out of place at corporate offices of the facility, or else we would have had some findings and we wouldn't have passed. And we did pass with flying colors, 0 findings. So that was super, super exciting that we had that as well. Before I move on to some other updates, let me see, has Coach Seymour been able to join us yet? I know he's on the call. I see him there, but I don't know if he's muted or what. That is so strange. Okay, well, Coach Mark, can you send him a text message? Just make sure he's all good over there. Just shoot
Yeah.
him a text on the cell. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. All right, and I got my cool cool Coach Marcus office sign. I'll be like, man, I needed that, bro. At what did Tina just say in the comments? Want to thank Coach Marcus for letting me. What did Tina say? That would be a great live and put into Nashville training. Yes, 100%. And that was really what that part was about, because I was really happy to hear that, because we're moving into a phase with our companies where we're understanding not just treating certain ailments. I don't want to claim that the products treat, cure, or prevent any disease. That's a disclaimer. But we have had many, many, many people who had a condition, used our products, and then the condition went away. Okay. So our products work. But to understand not just treating the issue and treating it, we want to start to understand our products, as we talked about in depth in Nashville, as root cause nutrition. And when I say root cause nutrition, root cause means we're getting to the root cause of issues and ailments, so much so that they can actually be prevented. And I want you to understand that prevention is purpose. And I got to really give a shout out to Coach Kimberly Wilkins and Coach Tina Rose Human as well, because when I first came to this company, I came to this company for the pay plan. I'm gonna just let y'all know, I came to HBN in 2019 for the pay plan. I didn't have wasn't really concerned or worried a lot about products. I was happy with the products I had in my previous company, this, that, or a third. And these young ladies over the years have educated me to a point where they don't even know when they did half the time. With their recordings and their live trainings and teachings, they've educated me to a point where I am beyond over the moon about these products and what they can do for people, because health truly is the first wealth. Health is the first wealth. I call it the Steve Jobs rule. Okay, and so when we have that going on, prevention can be your purpose. For people who are struggling with purpose, prevention can be your purpose. Okay, prevention is a type of purpose, because if we can keep people, I was just talking to another leader in the industry yesterday, and this particular individual was telling me that a member of their team went to have elective surgery. So a young lady on their team went to have an elective surgery. Okay. and cosmetic surgery. It's and ended up having complications a day or two after the cosmetic surgery, and the young lady passed away in her sleep. She passed away in her sleep. So what does that mean? It means that the statistics I gave, and this was recently, the statistics I gave you this weekend that stated, and you can Google all of this stuff, by the way, that stated that anywhere from 250,000 to 441,000 people die every year just in America. Just in America from medical error. Medical error. Doctor accident. Just didn't, my bad. Oops. Okay. So that being said, if you understand that, we want to keep people out of the hospital, period. If you got to go, you get in a car wreck and your arm's hanging off and you need a surgeon, we understand. But we understand how these products, and we're being educated like this weekend on how these products are preventative in nature by dealing with root cause nutrition. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about that later on the call. Thank you, Coach Troy. Just said it. The third leading cause of death. Coach Troy, you're wrong. What's the first two, Coach? What's the first two, Coach? I'm not even sure, but yeah, but medical error is the first leading cause of death. What are the first two? Let me ask Coach Troy. What's the first two? Now, that being said, not sure if we heard from Coach Seymour yet, and that is okay, as long as he's good. We'll just keep going with some updates. Let's talk about Vegas right quick. Why the illustrious Coach, no response? Interesting. All right, well, yeah, just call him if you can, Coach, because that's really unlike him. Super, super unlike him. So I'll just be busy. It happens. But let's talk about Vegas real quick. We've got an incredible 3-day lineup in Vegas. The theme for Vegas is going to be our Las Vegas boot camp is actually going to be called the Defend the Dream Conference in Vegas, the Defend the Dream Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, the dream is everything here. At our company and most opportunities, I would hope that they emphasize the dream. And everybody who joins these type of industries, especially once you understand the freedom it can give you, you have a dream. And where people go wrong in network marketing in this industry is simply not realizing that in order to fulfill your dream, you are going to have to fight. You are going to have a fight.
I'm muted now.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I just heard Coach Seymour. Voice Coach, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I wasn't able
Okay.
to unmute earlier.
Oh, yeah, no worries. We got you covered, brother. Fantastic. Okay, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to come back with the updates on Vegas, but let's turn the floor over to Coach Seymour. Paper and pens ready. And thank you, Coach. I appreciate you tuning in, my friend.
Okay. Let me grab my notes because I left to answer the call. Okay, guys, how's everybody doing? I'm glad everybody that made it back is back at home. We had a great time in Nashville. If you weren't there, you missed it. But Vegas is coming up, so guys, I'm hoping that most of you that didn't make it to Nashville will be there in Vegas with us this time again when it comes back around. So with that said, let me go and get off camera so I can go and hit my notes to give y'all what we're going to be talking about tonight. And it's going to be different. It's going to be a little bit different than what we've been talking about. It's going to be veered more towards couples, husbands, wives, siblings maybe can even do what I'm going to be talking about tonight. It's going to be, like I said, a lot different. So I hope I can get to some of you people tonight. With that said, let me go ahead and get off camera real quick and get started. We can get started. Let me grab my notebook here real quick. So tonight's topic is going to be basically explaining how couples should purchase homes separately and then build a portfolio and then add those homes to a trust. And when I say couples purchasing their homes separately, I don't mean that you shouldn't, you know, purchase your own. You should purchase your own home and um, not have that joint together. And there's a reason for why I'm going to explain why we should purchase the homes separately and not together. So let's get started. I want you to imagine this and imagine this, okay? You want to inherit not just memories, but your entire portfolio of income producing properties, fully protected and set up last. I set it up for it to last for generations. So the agenda of this is basically why real estate is the foundation of wealth, why couples should purchase separately, how to grow the portfolio as a stream, the power of trust for asset protection, practical steps to get started, and then overcoming the fear and myths. So the first one I said was basically why real estate is the foundation of wealth. Real estate has the wealth is basically a wealth builder. Historically proof that over the last 100 years, real estate has outpaced inflation and it's built more millionaires than almost any other assets, okay, other than network marketing. So if I want you all to think about this, how many of you want your money to start working for you instead of you actually working for your money? If we think about it, real estate gives us three things at once. Real estate, it appreciates. Real estate can create cash flow and it can leverage. And it's different than if you went out and bought a vehicle. You went and bought a car, that vehicle depreciates as soon as you leave the lot. That vehicle cannot really create cash flow for you unless you basically using that vehicle to rent it out, and you can't really leverage from it. Completely different from real estate, okay? Now let's talk about why we should purchase, why purchasing homes separately makes sense. Okay, number one, credit leverage. Both you're gonna be using both. You're gonna have separate. You both have separate credit scores. Okay, and when you purchase a home together, you're looking at the debt to income ratio. Where if you do it separately, you're using each person individual. But by buying jointly, it actually ties up one slot. Or if you buy separately, that will double that opportunity. A lot of us, I don't know if you know that when you get that, you know, you're only limited to 10 conventional loans. So again, if you're buying together, you're only limited to purchase to get up to 10 conventional loans as a couple. But if you do that separately, that doubles now. So we got 10 conventional loans each that each one of us can do. So number two, it has tax benefits. Each property have its own deduction, where again, if you only purchase one home, you only can get your deductions on that one individual home. Depreciation, mortgage, interest, repairs, travel expenses, property management fees, all of that. Risk diversification. So for example, if one spouse faced financial hardship, properties in the other names are basically shielded. So now you don't have to worry about, you know, you have you have that one home, where if you have separate homes, those other homes can build residual and passive income for you to where you're able to basically use the income that's going to be coming from those other homes that you may be renting out to be able to help you back with, you know, the financial hardship that you may be having. So for an example, let's say couple, if couple A was to buy a $400,000 home together, That's all they have is that one home. But if you have couple B, a husband buy, for example, a $400,000 home, and a wife buy a $400,000 duplex, combined now they have a $800,000 in appreciative assets, and they also have multiple income streams. So that will be the purpose of, again, right there, beneficial to you if you're able to purchase those homes separately. Okay. From there, once you have these homes separate, now you can start building a portfolio together, because you might have separate homes, but the vision is still united between the two, because now you're building legacy for your children's 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 children. You're buying something that going basically build that legacy for your family. Okay, as a team now. You put that togetherness, the couple putting it together to start building that portfolio. So basically, what we want you to do is just sit down as a couple, set 5 to 10 and even a 20-year real estate goal together. Okay, sit down and plan your real estate plan together as a family now. You also want to decide who's going to qualify first, and then who will be the alternate purchase. And an individual that is making the most, let's say both the couples are working in the family, the ones that making the most will be the one that will go and purchase the duplexes. The one that's making a little less will purchase the single family home. Okay. So basically, one spouse can focus on the single, like I said, on the single family rentals, while the other will focus on, the multifamily duplex or even short-term rentals. Okay. Basically, short-term rentals for high monthly cash can create high monthly cash flows. Long-term rentals will be for your stability. You blend those two portfolio for balance. Okay. And let me emphasize that basically separate ownership doesn't mean that you're having separate vision. It means more leverage for the same to share dream. Okay. So again, we're not trying to separate the couples. You're just trying to build that legacy for your family as individually, but together. You have the same vision, you have the same dream, and that's what your dream that you want to build. Now, the power of trust. Okay, this is where we're going to start taking those homes and put them into a trust. Because you don't want, when you leave this world, if they're not in that trust, yes, you might have them as a will, but even in the will, you still got to go through that probate. And probate can take years and years, tie you up for years, waiting for you for your next of kin, your beneficiary to get that home. While if it's in a trust, they don't have to go through none of that. Okay? So again, you want to avoid those probates. And basically, another thing that the trust provides, it also provides privacy. It also protects you against lawsuits and creditors. It allows structure, inheritance, and who gets what and who gets when and how they get it. You have a revocable trust and you got an irrevocable trust. So make sure you want to sit down with your lawyers so they can prepare the right trust for you. Okay. A revocable trust is it's flexible, but it's limited asset protection. Irrevocable is more rigid, but stronger and more protection. And having these trusts, basically you own nothing, but you control everything. Okay. And that's how you really want to have it. But again, like I said, get with your lawyer, get with the real estate, get your deed, get everything in order when you're ready to put those assets into a trust, so you can have that protection for the legacy, for your family legacy once you are gone from this world. Again, buy separately and in your own name, build cash flow and equity. Set up family trust with an estate, like I said, a real estate attorney, assign successors, trustees, and beneficiaries, and then transfer your deed into the trust. Okay, and again, we don't want to be just building all the asset that we are building right now. We're not doing this just for us. We're doing it for our family and for the legacy. You want to leave something behind, so when you're gone, your kids and kids, and that's how wealth is taught. You know, we always think about, okay, we got a will, we'll leave a will. But again, we're not thinking of what our family members gonna go through at the end once we're gone. And that's why you have a lot of hatred after most families are gone, because then people start fighting. They want this and they want that. And, that's so if you have this trust set up, you don't have to worry about none of that, because even with a will, you still have people that will fight and argue and go through a probate for it. But if it's in that trust, whatever that trust, how that trust is set up, that's who gets what, that's who get it, how they get it, and when they get it. Okay. So overcoming common objections. It might seem complicated, but guess what? It's the same process that you apply separately. What if one spouse, like I said earlier, if one spouse earned more? That's perfect, because that spouse is who's going to qualify for bigger loans, and the other will build equity with the small properties, but both matters, okay? It should not divide us, or it should not divide you financially. You are simply multiplying the opportunity that you're going to have. The vision remains united, okay? So number one, you want to check, they're going to check both your credit scores. Okay, so you want to make sure and get in order, make sure and get your credit cleared up and get it right. Okay, because once you're ready to do this, you want to be ready to just get started. You don't want to have to okay, I got to get my credit cleaned up. I got to get this done. That's why you want to sit down and plan this out over the time. Make sure you get everything in order. Get your credit cleaned up. Get anything. Get your papers in order. Get everything ready. So when you get ready to get started, go out and get that loan. There's no issue. There's no problem. You can get that and you can get going with it. Okay. Determine the affordability individually. Again, you got to make sure. Okay, if I buy this home, I'm gonna be able to take care of this. I'm gonna be able to pay this, and you're going to do that by each individual, because again, you getting that loan individually. Okay. And then you want to map out the property types that you want to get. Alternate purchases every 12 to 18 months. Meet with your trust attorney by year 3 to year 5 and get that trust set up. Your deed properties, you got to put all those into the trust. Update your trust as portfolio grows. So once your portfolio start growing, again, now you got to go back in again and update that trust. Okay. So in the next 90 days or so, you want to know what is a step that you can take to start this process. So if as a couple, you walk in, you want to sit down, you want to get this process done. I'm not saying though, because you have a home together now, that you need to go ahead and change no. I'm just saying this is a great concept, how you can build wealth for your family and for your legacy once you're gone. Okay. So again, key takeaways. We have some key takeaways from this. Real estate, what builds what? It builds wealth. Right? You want to have separate purchase, and because what that does, it doubles your opportunity. And then the trust is what's going to protect the legacy for your family. So closing words, I want to say, couple who think long-term create legacies. Couple who plan strategically, they will change their family tree. Don't just dream of financial freedom, build it, protect it, and pass it down. Back to you, Coach, so we can get our updates going for the rest of the night. before we all go back to bed tonight.
Man, thank you so much, Coach. And I'm gonna tell you what I love the most about that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's just a piece of what you get when you have an industry leader like Coach Seymour Greenwich Blake with his depth of experience, not just in network marketing, but his depth of experience in life and what he brings to the table. That's just some of his remarkable skill set. And the thing that I love, I'm looking over here at my notes, the thing that I like the most about it, and MJ is gonna be on me about this. She has been telling me for months, babe, we need to go do it. Trust me, do this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, I'll get around to it. I'm busy, I'll get around to it. And then here's Coach Seymour. All right, man, you won me over. That was the facts. So she's gonna be happy to hear that because we are going to implement exactly what you said in short order. So man, I really appreciate that. That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's always something magical on these calls that can help you or can help someone you know. It can help someone you know. There's a good friend of mine, him and his fiance, he got a home under the Florida First Time Homeowners Program. And I went over and saw his house and he's one of our team members and he loves it, but it's in his name. And his fiance doesn't have a house in her name and she's a Florida resident. So it will make perfect sense for her to operate under that same program. They can rent that second house out and have it paid for both. It's amazing. So just said, thank you, Simon. Babe, I'm sorry, because all right, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, so it's not just about getting this information, it's about sharing the information with people. And that's amazing. So thank you for that, Coach. All right, let's dive in. Yeah, there it is. Look, tell him, Tommy. Tell him. Yeah, love it. So but let's talk about Vegas. And again, it's the Defend the Dream Conference is the theme for this one. Vegas is always our flagship event every year. And I'm going to give you a lot of details about that right now. And we got an incredible 3-day lineup planned. We finally got Nashville dialed in to the point where we started on time, normal. We finished on time. That's crazy. I don't know if that's ever happened because there's so much recognition and so much to do. And everything was spot on point all weekend. But there were some people who were on the hot seat, which is a new part of the training that we have. I know we got a lot of requests for the next hot seat already. But I was very, very impressed, even with some people who had not heard public speaking before and some who I had who have just grown and blossomed into amazing speakers. So we want to make sure we're going to have an entire extra day. So we are going to have a ton of incredible information and fun for you there. And as far as the reason why it's called Defend the Dream, didn't they do great, T? Didn't they do great? And they had no idea what questions they were going to be asked. That was my favorite part, was just tricking them all. But they got me. They got me. All right. So one thing that when I say defend the dream, it simply means that when people get started in this industry, you have a dream. And then the second step is you have to fight for that dream. Will, what does it take to succeed in network marketing? Well, first and foremost, you have to have a dream that you're willing to fight for. And once you fight, the win is on the other side of that obstacle. The win is on the other side of all those no's and that rejection. The win, the dream lifestyle that you want is on the other side of all of the hard stuff and all of the sacrifice you had to make to get to that point. And a lot of network marketers, what they start to do when they've been in the industry for a while, they realize, man, that's a real fight. And they start to bring their dream down until they get it somewhere that's believable and achievable for them with no additional work. And they're like, no, I came here to make $10,000 a month. I came here to make $1 million. I can't, yeah, but I'll tell you what, man, I worked really hard. And this $1,000 a month, look, it's doing some good things. So I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna put on the brakes. I worked really, really hard. I don't know if I have it in me to do a big run. I'm gonna just be good with this extra $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a month. This is good. This is more than my neighbors make, and we start bringing our dream down to a standpoint of believability. We don't want to be in the front row of the Super Bowl no more. We don't want our kids to have the lives that we could never imagine ever before having. We don't want them in private school. We want them in a good school. Or you don't want to retire from your job no more. You don't like it. It's not paying you what you're worth. You can't homeschool your kids because you got to go to work. But at the same time, I understand. So just understand, for those of you who still have a spark of dream in you, Vegas is for you, because you have to defend your dream. Okay. And another mistake that a lot of network marketers make is they have a big, big dream and they don't realize it's going to be a big, big fight. They think it's big dream, little fight, big win. No, little dreams have little fights, and then you have a little win. Big dreams require big obstacles, big organization, big time management, big sacrifice. But I can tell you personally, it is worth it. Let's see what Coach Tina says in the chat right there. She's always so insightful. Can y'all show some Coach Tina some love in the chat? She tore it up in Nashville. She tore it up. She tore it up. She tore. I've seen y'all. I've seen some of y'all implementing things that that she said already, and I'm proud of you for implementing already. And I know you're seeing results. I know you're seeing some results from that. I can see your Facebook, so I know you are. Cosina says she wants her husband retired and have a '69 Chevelle. Love it. Okay, that's probably on her top 4 of her 20 reasons why. Okay, she knows them. They're right on the tip of her tongue. Okay, so here's the thing. Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be January 11th, and in observation of the biblical Sabbath, which is actually Saturday. Shockingly, a lot of times we believe that it is Sunday. That would technically be the Lord's Day for Christians, but Saturday is actually the biblical Sabbath, and it's really been on my heart to try to be more obedient to that. So we will not have the event on a Saturday as we normally do. You know, we talk about putting God first, at least with our team, but we have to lead from the front. And that's something I've just been determined to do. But I did give y'all a heads up months ago that Nashville would be our last Saturday event. So we're actually going to have our meet and greet on Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening is our meet and greet. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, I'm not going to tell y'all, but you know, our Vegas locations are always world class. They're always world class. So for our new team members or people who haven't been with us in Vegas before, I would come just for that, because you're never going to experience anything like that outside of our team until you're at the income levels where you can do those things. So it'll be amazing for you. We want you to dream bigger in Las Vegas. So that's number one. We're raising the bar. We'll see y'all there Sunday. Okay. On Monday. Okay. On Monday, January the 12th, we will be at our venue, which we do not have selected yet. Somebody asked, Will, we got a venue for Vegas yet? And I almost fell down laughing. I'm like, y'all do not know me at all. Y'all think that the company is doing these events. You think y'all think that it's a corporate staff. No, this be me and low-key Marcus. And we just like to make it happen, and we spend a lot of money. But y'all always make it worth it, and we appreciate you so much. But that being said, Monday, 9 to 5 is going to be the event on Monday. And then at night, after 5 p.m., you are free to frolic about Vegas. There's so much amazing stuff to do. Vegas is actually a super, super family-friendly city with so many things to do for kids too. A lot of people just don't know because they haven't been there before to really move around. And also at 5 o'clock, there will be a certain group of VIPs. I'll tell you about them shortly. But the VIPs will not be off gallivanting with everybody else. The VIPs will be with me, and you will have access to your first of 2 private VIP events. And yes, the VIPs can bring 1 guest. Will, how do I become a VIP? I'll tell you in a little bit, but just know up front, it's not free, and VIP is not for everybody. We only have 8 VIP spots, and I will tell you about that in a minute. Then but don't stay out all night. Don't stay out all night, because Tuesday from 9 to 3, we will have our second, after 5 p.m., we have the VIP event for VIPs, but everybody else is free to frolic around Vegas. Again, so much to do in Vegas. And then Tuesday, January 13th, we will have training from 9 to 3. We'll be wrapped up early that day. And then we will have our optional team event at 4:30, and we'll decide on that. In Nashville, we went to the Parthenon for Social Media Sunday. That was amazing. Coach Charlotte Whitaker defended her push-up title. I'm not going to say who she beat, but it was 2 grown men, and she whooped them, as she always does. Charlotte Whitaker is our push-up champ, our fitness champion. She's amazing. She did. There's a video floating out there somewhere, but I ain't going to talk about it. And so we have the optional team event at 4:30. Of course, that's going to be cool. And then we have team dinner, which she put them to shame, T. She put them to shame. I hope they're not on the call. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, it might be. I don't know, because the champ was one of them. So Jamel was on there. He's a real G. I love that dude. He's awesome. He's awesome. So we have team dinner at 7, which Tommy said they here. They're crying on the car. They're crying in the car right now. Team dinner at 7 p.m. for the team. You know, we love that. And that's going to run till 9 o'clock. And after that, you know, we just go on about our separate ways, except for our 8 VIPs. Sunday night at 9 o'clock, we have the second of our 2 VIP events. And here's what you need to know. Early bird tickets are $40. Those are available as of now. They are not available on Cash App. Do not do Cash App. I got an email from Cash App earlier today. They said, your account just closed. And I screenshot it. So I'll probably post that because it's a good laugh. They kept telling me they were going to close it if I didn't do some type of paperwork to upgrade to a business account. And I was like, nope, not doing it. But we do still have PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo. Now listen, the early bird tickets are $40 because of how big we do it in Vegas. And me and Marcus spent a lot more than I thought we were spending in Nashville, apparently. But I know y'all loved every bit of it. We have there's only 100 of those, and we have to have a hard cap of 100. And once they're gone, they're gone. And you can also, of course, that is going to be available to have live stream as well. Our typical videographer was not available for live stream in Nashville, so we had to make do. I want to thank Coach LA Balfour, but I also want to thank Lynette Jamat. I want to thank Lynette Jamat as well for making sure that we did the best we could with that. And I know that y'all got some good value. Now that I'm back in Florida, I'm in the process of getting those videos and getting the transcripts there for you so that you can have summaries of everything. So in case the audio was a little wonky, you can still go back into the group. All right, so January. Okay, so January 11th, 12th, and 13th, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, okay? And what also happened is we had a lot of people last minute who bought tickets last minute, and what they ended up doing was saying, hey, I got guests. And I was like, all right, if it's guests, we gotta let them come. And other people said, I got family members that wanna come last minute. Like, gotta let them come. Other people like, we got new team members that'll come. Like, all right. So we extended how many tickets we had to allow more people to come. And y'all didn't see this part, I don't think, but I know Coach Seymour, Marcus, and the fellas did. We had to call a venue, tell them, hey, we need more tables, more chairs, and we got it all done. But we're not going to have that level of we got it done. But I would not like that to happen again. So there we're capping these at a hard cap, $40 a ticket. They will be $40 for the next 24 hours because the sooner after that, they will go up to $97. I'm gonna say that again. There was a lot of work. These tickets are gonna be $40 for the next 24 hours. After that, they go up to $97, and it's a hard cap of 100 no matter what. So just understand that. Also too, the sooner we have the exact head count of what it is, the sooner we can take that and book a venue. And when people just trickle in, it just takes too long to get it. So we had the venue for Nashville earlier than usual, and I want the venue for Vegas early as possible because there's a certain venue that I want. We wasn't able to get the one I wanted in Nashville. People were just taking a little too long. It's a certain venue that I want in Vegas for you guys and girls. And the faster you get your tickets, the faster we can jump on that and try to book that out because Vegas is our flagship event. We always crank it up. That being said, for those of y'all who step it up, here are the VIP stipulations. We only have 8 VIP spots. VIPs are going to get a bunch of great stuff I'll tell you about, but they are going to get 2 private events that nobody in the industry has ever seen before, okay? One of those events, well, both of them are an industry first. One of them's obviously going to be Monday night, then the other one's Tuesday night. And you will know when you're in the room. I'm going to tell you right now, these VIP tickets are $497. We only have 8 of them, okay? If you get one within the next 24 hours, it is $297. That will go up to $497 in 24 hours. No exceptions, hard cap 8. Will, how come it's only 8? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. One of the things that I did earlier today, I put in an application for us to compete for a Guinness Book World Record. No joke, we always go big in Vegas. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet, but the VIPs are gonna know exactly what it is, and you will never have an opportunity to compete for a world record ever again. The best prospecting tool you'll ever have is world record holder in your bio. So our VIPs not only get 2 private events, all food and all drink is provided but you get to pick all the food, all the drink. That's on y'all, whatever you want. We got it for you at both VIP events. You will also have lunch provided for you at the event, both days, plus refreshments, in addition to food and drink and grown-up drinks at the VIP events, the private VIP events. You're also going to have priority seating. Once you see the venue, you'll be able to pick the seats that you want in the venue before anybody else does, and you'll have a really cool chair and everything. And you get to pick your own seats. Wherever you want that is your seat. And there's going to be some amazing extra photo opportunities for them as well. We also have a group photo, not just for the VIPs, but there were some individuals who booked to do our group photo and magazine photo shoot last time, and we couldn't make it work with the photographer. So we do have that again. So if you've already, back in the day when we did our magazine shoot, we have that picture coming. So you don't have to be a VIP for that if you already paid for it back in the day. But that being said, the VIPs are also going to have complimentary limited edition Las Vegas themed jerseys. Put a 1 in the chat if you love the jerseys that we had. We don't know if we'll have a second run of jerseys ever, but I know we love those. And whoever got them, I love that you got them, because we don't know if we'll have those again. You're also going to get, VIPs are going to get a complimentary chip stack. You're going to get free money. You're going to get a complimentary chip stack from Caesar's Palace, because Caesar's Palace has agreed to sponsor those complimentary jerseys as long as we have the Caesar's Palace logo somewhere on there. I was working today, y'all. So you're going to get complimentary chips. There's going to be chips that you can go, money that you can go gamble at Caesar's Palace, and whatever you win, you keep. So that's great. Will, how come only 8 VIPs at $297 early bird pricing, or $497 if you don't book within the first 24 hours? Because the particular Guinness Book World Record that I would love for us, well, we're going to break it because we don't do nothing to lose, that we're going to break, it has a maximum participation amount of 8 people, not including myself. They have to have an appointed moderator to do all the measurements and everything for the event. And the world record that we're breaking, for legal purposes, it can only be broken in Vegas. That's not legal to do it in any other state. So this is going to be amazing. The casinos are going to be involved. It's going to be incredible. The staffs are going to be involved. I can't wait to share it with you, but I want to make sure we get our VIPs, get those 8 tickets sold first. And y'all are for a treat. I don't know if you ever wanted to be a world record holder, but I do. And we're gonna make that happen. And it's never been done in the history of network marketing ever. And every other company is going to be jealous, and every other company is going to try to do it. But you're going to know that we were first again. Okay. Now, that being said, for people who were telling me, Will, we really want to go to Vegas, but man, Vegas is expensive. Au contraire, mon frere. What that's telling me is maybe you haven't been working your business as hard as you should, but that's okay. I did some research for everybody today. I'm going to tell you right now, this is what the Vegas flights are looking like. You got some great information right now. No, I'm just giving y'all a hard time. You'll be fine. I was a broke network marketer too, and I drove cross country from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all the way to Salt Lake City, Utah, with Yusef Willoughby. And we did that many a time, sleeping in the car and, taking showers at gyms. So yeah, no, I know what it's like, but we were not going to miss no events. So that being said, the flights, I always like to use Dallas and Atlanta because they are good amounts of flights. That's a good average flight breakdown. I looked today, and this is just on Google, by the way. $73 each way from Dallas to Vegas if you book today. Don't book. Look, because Seymour just said it. His tickets are $73. I looked up the same tickets today because Dallas and Atlanta will always give you a good general view of how much tickets cost. So Dallas to Vegas, $73 each way. Atlanta to Vegas, $64 each way. Now, of course, you can get more expensive tickets if you want. And this is also what's going to happen. You don't have to get those tickets today, because typically I travel a lot. The tickets prices are going to go down for a window of about 20 days on October 8th. So even if you don't get a $73 ticket today, just know that the ticket prices are going to go down on October 8th, and then they'll go back in like 2 weeks later. So just keep an eye on them. But the ticket prices are very, very good. And I actually picked, part of the reason I picked Vegas that weekend is because based on my research, I knew that it would be more affordable for you. Or for those of you who care about saving money, because I love saving money too. So that being said, Will, what about where we staying at? What we doing? Okay, here we go. I love looking up the best deals in hotels, and I was on hotels.com earlier, and I'm gonna just give y'all some of my top 4 choices that I found for Vegas hotels for the exact days that we need them. All right. The Venetian, I've stayed at the Venetian many, many nights. Sometimes the Venetian is $400 a night. Sometimes the Venetian is $800 a night. You get suites, it's even more than that. But The Venetian, just on regularhotels.com, was $107. It's like, I ain't never seen that before. But Will, that's still a lot. I know. Let me give you another one. The Gold Coast Hotel, which I love. We've done an event there before at the Gold Coast Hotel. $26 a night, ladies and gentlemen. And that's if you book that today. I kid you not, or book in a couple weeks. It'll be the same thing for a while. The Silver Sevens Hotel and Casino, no joke, $10 a night. No joke, no joke. I'm telling you, this event, listen, this is for y'all. If you don't make it, it's just because you don't want to go. And I get that. I get that. It's cool. One hotel that I actually enjoy staying at, I stayed there for one night last time I was in Vegas until the other hotel. My reservation started the next day and I wanted to go a day early. I stayed at the Strat. The Strat is right on the Strip. The Strat, $11 a night at the Strat. You can just hang out at the casino. Yeah, but the Strat is $11 a night. And what does that mean? It means that this trip is 100% doable, 100% doable. Yeah, the Gold Coast is sweet. Tommy, right? We got some team members, some free rooms at the Gold Coast last time. And listen, they were not $26. So it's $26 at the Gold Coast. So this is, everybody can do it. Get your ticket to the event, ladies and gentlemen, and start making your travel plans prior to right around October 8th at the latest is what you want to do, and lock in some of those rock bottom prices. But I do recommend those hotels, and the venue is going to be on the Strip, right near the Strip. So you'll be close. All right. Let's do a little bit of event recap. I know we got a lot of information out there that we just told you, and I'm only going to do a quick overview because we're just about on time on the call. But I just want to share with you a little bit of the information that matters, because as Coach Tina said earlier, and as we talked about in Nashville, prevention is purpose. Prevention is purpose. Okay. We talked about how black seed oil by Harvard doctors is now being called what's called a functional botanical. A functional botanical. It's literally doing things that prescription drugs are supposed to do with no harmful side effects for 1/100th of the price. Okay, so you're going to start to hear that buzzword out a little bit more in the industry, but you're hearing it here first. Functional botanicals. Okay, and if you have any questions about the event, put that in the chat and I'll answer them before we wrap up. Also, I was in a Facebook conversation with a doctor, and this doctor's name is Dr. Joe McCord. He used to be involved in the network marketing industry. He made a product probably 20 years ago, but he's no longer involved in it. But Dr. Joe McCord, and I'm gonna tell you what really impressed me about this conversation. This gentleman is the last living recipient of the Elliott Crescent Medal. And for everybody who just bought their tickets, look, when them 100 tickets is gone, or them 92, there's only 92, $40 tickets. When they're gone, they're gone. If they're gone by the end of this call, which that actually happened 3 or 4 events ago, if you see a refund from me to your account, it's because you did not get a ticket, and that has happened before. Yeah, so let me tell you about Dr. Joe McCord. So Dr. Joe McCord, Coach Charlotte knows as well. He won something called the Elliott Crescent Medal. Way to go, KT. He won the Elliott Crescent Medal. And the Elliott Crescent Medal is very, very special because the Elliott Crescent Medal is only awarded to people who advance civilization forward. I'm going to give you the names of 2 people who won the Elliott Crescent Medal. Nikola Tesla was a recipient of the Elliott Crescent Medal. Okay, Henry Ford, who the car, Henry Ford, won the Elliott Crescent Medal. Dr. Joseph McCord, and although very few people know his name, did so much to advance civilization forward with his research on anti-aging that he's the last living recipient of the Elliott Crescent Medal. And I've had several conversations with him, and one recently, we're talking about a new product that he had specifically designed to reduce aging inside the body. And I was asking the doc, what's the main ingredients in that? I'm just curious. The main ingredients in it: rosemary essential oil in a capsule, and ashwagandha. And he has another one, lutein, which is in all of our products, including fulvic acid. So I was like, yep, don't need to buy that. We got it. But that being said, thank you for the heads up. So the smartest anti-aging doctor in the world, who's still alive today, quite literally just gave me the rundown on how rosemary, ashwagandha, and lutein, which is in fulvic acid, is the future of anti-aging. We just talked about this in Nashville, and having that conversation with him today was absolutely eye-opening about letting them know how far we are. So I don't know, I'm a black seed oil fan. Everybody should have that. If you're going to buy any essential oil, and I mean any essential oil, it needs to be rosemary, and you need to be applying rosemary essential oil topically 2 to 3 times a day. It is scientifically proven by the smartest anti-aging doctor in the history of the world, right up there with Nikola Tesla, right up there with Henry Ford. I need you to understand it is the #1 anti-aging substance you can put on your body to slow down aging, and in some cases, reverse aging inside the body. Rosemary essential oil, right from Godasana. Okay. Now on the HBN side, okay, yeah, Christina just made a great comment about lithium, and I got it again. I always give credit where credit's due, and the reason why we talked about that, the reason I went to our St. Louis event that Dee Dee put on, and Jessica Hill came, and Coach Tina came and trained. And where was Dee Dee this weekend? Somebody get Dee Dee she's gonna be in the doghouse. Dee Dee, I'm very surprised Dee Dee was not in Nashville. But that being said, um, she better have been sick. Dee Dee better have been sick. She was healing up from something. All right, I was giving her a hard time. But that being said, Coach Tina told me, and thank you, Kara. Yeah, thank you, Kara. So Coach Tina was one of the first people who ever introduced me to, to fulvic acid. Megan, Devi, Chelsea, Coach Tina was like the main 3 people that ever introduced me to that. Okay. And so Coach Tina told an amazing story that made me dig deeper into fulvic acid from the time we were in St. Louis to now. I was like, man, I got to figure this out. She said something very strange. She said, before I had ever used fulvic acid, I felt like there was a fog, like a dark cloud over my head. And I'm going, what is Coach Tina talking? She's always seemed like such a ray of sunshine. What is she talking about? And she said, when I started taking fulvic acid, I felt like there was just a cloud that got lifted, just gone. I was like, all right, I know she ain't pulling my leg because it's Coach Tina. I got to figure this out. So I'm research brain for the last couple months, and I can tell you that fulvic acid has in it a ton of trace minerals and nutrients now, and minerals, and people do not understand how valuable they are until you don't have them. Now, lithium is in fulvic acid. It's also in Ocean Vitality, but there's more of it in the fulvic acid. And don't confuse it with the lithium that the psychiatrists prescribe to people. That's going to be a synthetic lithium bicarbonate. There's some science name on the back of it. That's not real. Okay. But it does work to help handle depression. Why does it work? Because all they did was take the real element lithium that really works in nature, that humans are supposed to have in their body, and they added some chemicals to it so they could patent it and then sell it, the chemical prescription version, for tons of money. Okay? You don't need that stuff. All right? So if you've been down, if you feel like, man, I just can't shake this fog off, and it gets worse as you get older, you could quite possibly have a lithium deficiency in your body. So fulvic acid and Ocean Vitality can help you with that, but that's just one. Okay, the last thing I'll share with you before we get to the end of this is, let's look at diabetes. We talked about this a lot in Nashville. You need to understand, okay? When you look at diabetes, people who have diabetes or pre-diabetic, they're gonna crave sweets. One of the most revelations I heard about from everybody in Nashville was how people that are diabetic or pre-diabetic crave sweets, because it's not just lifestyle. It's not just because you're overweight or underweight. It is because you have a severe deficiency in chromium and vanadium. That's what the real research shows. Why do you think that when people start using Slimmer Max, they lose weight? Because it has chromium in it. And the reason you're diabetic is because your body just doesn't have enough chromium in it. So there's 90 essential vitamins, minerals, nutrients that you need to have in your body. And if you're missing one of them, and your body can't create these, you have to get them from an external source. Well, Will, can I get them from food? No, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. You could only get them through supplementation from companies that actually are certified to have the real stuff in the supplements. I want to add that. So it makes the FDA thing really important. So the reason why people who are pre-diabetic or diabetic crave sweets is because chromium in its raw form. How many people have ever had chromium? Okay. Chromium is going to be very sweet. You ever had chromium, our HBN chromium? It's very sweet to the taste. It's strange. Like the iron is metallic, the chromium is sweet. Okay. You just have a chromium deficiency, and you got to understand that. Chromium and vanadium. And that's in our products as well. I'll tell you which ones in a second. So out of the 90 different things that you have to have, if you're missing just one, like selenium, for example, you are a million times more likely to have a cardiomyopathy heart attack if you're deficient in selenium. It's a mineral nutrient that you have to have in your body, and it is not up for debate. You have a lot of them when you're born. If you don't, or if you have a birth defect, it's because the mother did not have enough of the minerals and nutrients needed to create a baby. Why do you think mothers have so many strange cravings when they're pregnant? Just crazy stuff. Peppermints, pickles, ice cream, and salt. Just weird stuff. Why? Because the body knows intuitively, I need more raw materials to create a fully formed, healthy baby. You need to understand that. Okay? Tommy, we do have VIP left. If I check it after the call and we don't, I'll refund it right back. Okay? So that being said, the minerals and nutrients that we have, they don't come from food no more. And people will tell a lot of us in the network marketing industry, I don't need that stuff. Well, you do. You do need chromium. You do need vanadium. You do need lithium. You do need iron. You do need copper. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have varicose veins or spider veins, those are broken blood vessels. You only have broken blood vessels when you have a deficiency of copper, because over time, you just sweat it out. That's life. You're not just sweating when you sweat. You're losing minerals, salts, nutrients, copper, iron, zinc, vanadium. You lose everything when you sweat. You got to put it back in. If you have a copper deficiency, it's very, very likely that you can be setting yourself up for kidney failure or an aneurysm, because an aneurysm is the same thing as a broken blood vessel in your leg. It's just in your head. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, if you want to have all 90 minerals and nutrients, I'm going to tell you the only HBN products you need. The ones you need, gray hair. Yeah, thank you, Tiara Moore. Gray hair is linked to a copper deficiency. Well, Will, why? Because the blood vessels cannot get the nutrients to the scalp. You got to understand that. Now, I could go on and on about this for hours. I'm not going to do that. We'll do a big training in the group, the HBN product group, the Go to Sign product group. I have a small private group I have called the Turn Back the Clock Anti-Aging Group. If you're not in that group, get in there. I got to tell you something cool that happened today about that group. Okay. But here's the point. This is what you need to get the 90 minerals and nutrients that you got to have, no exception. Fulvic acid and ocean vitality. All right. Those two are going to cover 60 of what you need. Now, they have more than 60 vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, but they're going to cover over 60 of the 90 that you need. Fulvic and ocean vitality. Put those together, you got over 60 and you're good. Beetroot Max and Glucoprotect and Mind are going to fill in the others. So I'm going to say that again. Fulvic acid and ocean vitality will get you 60 of them. Beetroot Max, Glucoprotect, and Mind, okay, are going to get you the other 30 that you need, okay? The only thing I might add for a lot of you is going to be gut check, because for a lot of you, your intestinal tract is so tore up from years of eating fast food and McDonald's and burgers and gluten and stuff like that, candy bars and potato chips and hot wing. Your intestinal tract is pretty messed up insofar as absorption. So whenever you have a customer who's using our products, but they're not getting the results, we know it's not the product. A lot of time it's going to be their intestinal tract. It's an absorption thing. And so they need to add gut check. So fulvic acid, liquid or powder, ocean vitality, beetroot max, glucoprotect, mind, and gut check as an optional will give you all 90 of what you need. And the ocean vitality lasts for 2 or 3 months. It lasts for 2 or 3 months. Like a lot of stuff lasts a lot longer than 30 days. So you can get a lot out of it. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, We'll wrap it up. What I'm going to be talking about on the next call, on the Sunday call coming up, and the Tuesday, Sunday, just the next calls that I'll be doing, just giving y'all a heads up. We're going to be talking about the 7 core systems, and I'm going to be going in depth into each system on each call. If you have any questions about that stuff, the calls are the time to ask them, because you learned about the systems, and I'm gonna give you the list right now, and the tools and whatnot, but you have not had the time yet to really build your own system and really refine it and polish it. Okay, we just had a 1-day event. So here's the list of the systems we'll be covering on the next 7 calls. Number 1, the onboarding system. That includes the launch. Second is going to be a retail system. And remember, if you have a retail system that already works, as I know a lot of people do, especially on social media, use that. But you have to teach it to your new reps. And you got to understand they may not be as popular as you yet on social media. So they might do what you do and not get the same results yet. You have to have transparent conversations with them when it comes down to a real customer acquisition system. Okay? It has to duplicate. Thank you, Tommy. Number 3, recruiting. You got to have a recruiting system. We'll cover that in depth. 4, retention system. It's not just about getting people in, it's about keeping them in and moving them forward up the pay plan. $300, $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. You got to know where you're at on a roadmap, and a retention system is huge with that. A recognition system, very, very important. That's going to be the 5th system. Number 6, lead generation system. I want you to never run out of people to talk to. We'll talk about that on the 6th call from today. Number 7, personal development system. A lot of fun there. Okay, a lot of fun there. All right. And then we have, let me check and see. Give me 1 second. Yep, but the VIP tickets are going. We do have some left though. Just checking based on the PayPal, Venmo, quick swipe. If you do get a VIP ticket and you don't, I will Zelle you right back if you don't have it. If we don't have any by the time this call is over, don't worry. All right, so that being said, those are going to be the 7 systems that we're going to be covering on those calls. Now, as we close the call, let me tell you a cool story. I have a group, it's a very small group. It's about 800 people in it, and it's called the Turn Back the Clock Anti-Aging Group. And I started a couple of years ago. I just put cool content in there, but it's a really small group. As far as groups that we manage, like the HBN groups and everything, a really small group. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'll answer them right before we wrap it up. And so today I made a post, but I actually made a post in the comments about Ocean Vitality, which a lot of people don't know, that not only does it have all the essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, like 60 of them, because it works really good with fulvic, but it does a lot by itself. It also has in it Irish sea moss. And Irish sea moss is really good for lung health, okay? And so that's I don't buy Irish sea moss from anywhere anymore. I get Irish sea moss from Ocean Vitality. And so I put that, and I got a couple of DMs. I got some comments that were cool, but I got some DMs for some people. One of which is a buddy of mine, played college ball out in Texas. Stop gatekeeping. Tell me the Irish sea moss you use. I was like, cool. And I invited him to the group. And then I sent them the link for HBN, the direct link. I'd never used the direct link for Ocean Vitality before. And he bought Ocean Vitality. I thought that was really cool. Here's the cooler part. I got a DM from somebody I didn't add to the group. One of y'all added them to the group. Not going to say who, but you'll see a DM shortly. And I went to the group and I went to say, who is this person? And it said, oh, such and such added them to the group. And I went, yes. Yes. So one of 2 things is about to happen. I'm going to call that team member and say, yo, give me your direct link. I'm about to send this to this person and get you a sale. It was great. Or if they want, I'm going to message them as soon as the call's over, because it just happened like an hour ago. Or if they want, I'm going to just tell that person to get in touch with them and they can buy it if that's what they want to do. So I'm going to just say, if you're not in the Turn Back the Clock group and you need some sales, I'm about to turn the content from here to here. Don't be afraid to join that group and add people that are not in our company to the group. Yeah, anybody from our team can get in the group. Everybody's been in the group for years, but I didn't understand, like, let me just drop a post every once in a while, because I just give value for years. So whenever I do post something, people buy it because I've been giving value for years. in the Turn Back the Clock group. So that being said, if you're a member of that group, one of our team, do me a favor. I want to test this out. Add like 30, 40 people to the group. I am going to do value posts 5 days in a row. And then like Friday, I'm gonna do like a product type post. And if people want to buy it, which people typically do, you'll see them, or I'll send you the link. I need your link to give to them. Or if you want to, I can just do like the ad tag thing, and we'll figure out a way to make sure that they get your link from you, because you invited them to the group and it's your people. So I thought that was awesome. Never thought that would happen in a million years. I guess we just learn something new every day. But let's blow that group up and let's get everybody some sales, man. That was cool. And I'll do the content, no biggie. So thank y'all so much. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, you can cut the recording. I'm going to go and check and see the number of VIP tickets and total tickets left. So I'm going to hop off